We're holding on page Daled, Nesivos Olam, second column. U'Maseches Gittin U'Bekama Komos, and it's mentioned in a number of other Masechtas. This statement, Hane'lovim V'Einem Olvim, very famous. Those who are disgraced, embarrassed, and they don't cause others to be embarrassed. Shomim Cherposom, they listen to the disgrace of V'Einem Meshivim, they don't respond. Osim Mi'avo, and whatever they do out of love. Usmech B'Yisurim, and they rejoice over the Yisurim, over their suffering. Aleim Nemar, V'O'ava, regarding these individuals, what does it say in the Posuk? V'O'avov, those who love Him, mean Hashem, ultimately, Ketzeis Hashem Shbetzoroi Bigvuroso. They will have they will illuminate with the intensity of the sun at its strongest time. So again, Ne'lovim V'Einem Olvim. No, firstly, they are the victims, but they don't victimize other people. They listen to their disgrace and they don't respond. That's holding your tongue. And whatever they do me'avo. And the mekablim yisurim, and they rejoice in the yisurim. They rejoice. Right? The Mechaber says, just as kishem shvorcha la'atov, kaf vorcha la'arav, or a person's vorcha la'atov is with joy, you get a call, just whatever it is. You rejoice. It's as kishem, identically, as you mevorchen la'atov, kach mevorchim al'arav. There's no difference. Because if you really put it in perspective, in the reality, intellectually, you can relate to it. Right? It's in your best interest. No, it's not Yusum Shalom. No, it's not Yusum. No, it's not Yusum because you see the value. You know, it's like a person that has a cancer, and if it doesn't it's not cut out, he's going to die. Although it's painful and the recovery is painful, the person, he sings the praises of the doctor because if not for the surgeon, he would die. He's happy he had the surgery. There was 10 slots, and there were 1,000 people waiting for this kind of surgery, and the doctor took him. But it's painful and this, that, it's irrelevant. But I know I'm going to live. So when you get the call, you rejoice when you get the call that you're a candidate, that you will given the slot for the surgery. There was a story many years ago. There was a shamus in the Fifth Avenue Synagogue, David Finkelstein. It's a very special person, tzaddik type person, and told me a story then. There was a hotel in Liberty, New York, many years ago. If you're old enough, you remember it, and you had to be in that milieu to understand it, to remember it. It was called Empire Hotel. It's a religious hotel. Very religious people, Empire. So it was like waning. It was holding by going out of business. The people who owned the hotel, they just had Pesach. One time it was open during the summer, but they're only Pesach. So the last season they had opened for Pesach. So the owner of the hotel, he was counting the receipts, and there were a few people that wash dishes by hand, or even by dishwashers, and he was in the office counting the money with the safe. He was there himself, and they had some Puerto Rican dishwashers. They came in to the office. They tore out all the phones, and they stabbed them multiple times. And they left them to die. They took the money, they left. They forgot to pull out one phone. So he was bleeding to death. And he called, and because he called, they saved him. So what happened? Every knife wound that went into him just missed an internal organ. Missed his heart, missed his liver, missed his this, whatever it is. So it was all just, he was wounded, that's it. But what happened was, afterwards, they wanted to see if it mended, so they did a CAT scan on him. Because they did the CAT scan, they found a cancerous tumor, and if it would have gone a little bit longer, it would have erupted, he would have died. So Rich, he said to this, David Finkel says, originally I thought, this is my mazel. This happens to me. And ultimately, he says, it was the greatest blessing, because otherwise he would have died. Look, he says, thank God it happened. You understand? The man was left to die, They stole everything, and all of a sudden, then he thought this is the end. It's disastrous. They says, Baruch Hashem. So that's the reality. So if we're able to somehow internalize that reality, it's simcha. Those people, it's Tzeis Hashem Shebekuro. So ultimately they're going to radiate like the sun. It's in its strongest time. Right? It's in Gemara. Like I always said with the Titanic. People, they couldn't go on the level of envy. Their envy was strong enough they could consume somebody with their envy. And they missed the boat. They couldn't buy the ticket. They couldn't afford it, or this ticket was sold out. And they didn't go on the maiden voyage of the Titanic, okay? Little time passed, they thank Hashem a million times that they never got on that boat. Right? That's the way it is. People agonize they don't get a position, a job, or this and that. You never know the blessing down the road. Sometimes it reveals itself. You say, thank God. If I would have been there, who knows what would have been. David told me a story when, what's his name, folded? Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers. There was a person, I don't know if he was a Jew or not a Jew, he was top of Lehman Brothers. And Lehman Brothers, whenever they would give you, they give you stock. And you could only get the stock when you retired, when you stopped working for them. That's what you had to pay out. As long as you're with them, you had the stock. This person was on top. He was earning tremendous amounts of money. And all of a sudden, they give him his walking papers, the pink slip. The person was sent away. The person was so broken, he wasn't able to speak. He lost his power of speech. He was so traumatized by this. Sold his stock, sold everything. He was in psychiatric care, medication for 2 years. Then afterwards, everything collapsed. All the stock was worthless. People put their lives in there. So only then, all of a sudden, the guy started to speak. 2 years later, he started to speak. Okay? Then you see the bracha. What? No. Just say. I heard this from David. You see. Cash out. And he had a package, everything. Same story. So. To hear is a tremendous accomplishment, but to do, and that's Tzeis Hashem Shebekuro. Very few people are going to radiate like the sun at the strongest time. Smechem b'yisurim, you rejoice. Right? It's a different level of test. Different level of test. Some people see it, some people. But then that's bitachon. That's trust. You trust Hashem, this is in my best interest. And you're able to rejoice because of the level of trust that you have. I'll give you an example. L'havdil elef havdolos. Many years ago, I was sitting with Alan, and his uncle used to participate in the shiur. His name's Armin Lindenbaum. And he says and there was somebody else at the shiur. He says, do you ever hear of a guy Madoff? This story goes back 23 years ago. You ever hear somebody Madoff? He asked me, I said, never heard it. He says, the other, never heard. I said, it sounds like he's a Bukharin, Madoff, Bukharin, the names end with that kind of, those letters. I have no idea. He says, I hear unbelievable things. People are banging his door down to give him money. He says, even if you want to give him money, they don't take it. Wouldn't take it from you. I'm looking for a connection. I should be able to give him my money. They don't want to take my money. This is what he said then. Everybody is this Madoff. The one who couldn't get in there, he thanks God a million times that he never went in there. Just tell him this is the story. I know. If there's, as they say, if there's a will, there's a way, unfortunately. You want it bad enough, Hashem says, you want it, I'll give it to you. I'll open the door, you're welcome to enter.